How you doing? Welcome back. Today I got X-Plus Frankenstein in the mail. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and dig into this guy here and see what it's all about. First off is my favorite part. Let's go ahead and get this plastic off of here so we can see what the box art really looks like without the shine. Well, without most of the shine. All right. So, you know, in X Plus fashion, very nice packaging. He's very green, very green. All right, let's see. It doesn't really say much on the side. Shows a couple pictures. All right, let's go ahead and crack him open. Okay, so we got it all laid out here, and in typical X Plus fashion, you have a ton of parts, which is a complaint that I've heard by a couple people out there in the internet land. I'm like 50-50 on it myself. You know, do we really need a lapel by itself? You know, can a jacket come in 2 halves instead of 4? Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at the directions. We got them right here in front of us. Seem to be, we're washing out there, and I'm sorry. But pretty typical directions. Kind of a lot of steps in each one. Or a lot of parts to put together in each step, should I say. But it seems to be explained pretty well. And I'm just looking at this for the first time with you guys. So keep that in mind. Right here's pretty much what your built kit is going to look like here on the end. Flip it over. Got some pro tips for your painting. You can maybe use a colored pencil, gray, to make some highlights around the halo of the head. Some tips about the fingernails. Keep your eyes out on this for this kiss coming out. And little painting instructions right here of each color, what everything is supposed to be. Very basic, but you know, it's there, and I like that for people that have never done it before. What I don't like is it doesn't tell you who sculpted this anywhere. If you know who sculpted it, go ahead and drop that in the comments. I asked one person and they said no, they did not sculpt it. So they suggested maybe somebody in-house. I don't know. That being said, let's go on and take a look at the kit here. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at our base here with our bench wide camera since it's a bigger part. And you can see it's just a wooden floor, but it's still nicely done. Has a lot of deep grooves in there. A lot of textures to hold your washing and your dry brush. It'll be very good. It has grain in it. You can see that right there. It's got wood grain in it. So that'll be good to go. It's even got this big old boot hole right there. Okay, first off, let's get all the doodads and machinery things out of the way. One thing I personally don't like is, you know, they made the plastic parts in 2 halves. You can't keep it clear and get rid of that seam. If you know a way to keep that clear and get rid of the seam after you glue those together, let me know. Because I'd be more than interested. I mean, I guess you can frost it or whatever with your airbrush. But that's, yeah, I don't, it's going to have a seam line there. That's all there is to it. And then, I mean, maybe you could fill it and polish it or something. I don't even know if you can polish styrene, to be honest with you. This clear stuff. Well, once again, let me know if you got an idea in the comments. But down here you have your, it's the only way I could come up to where you could see it. You can see the dial, the gauges for your machinery right there, your different little lights that light up. I'm sure that somebody's probably going to come out with a lighting kit for this. No, it doesn't have holes. Maybe it does. Yeah, it's got little holes in the back, like it's made for some, you know, micro bulbs to go into it. So there you go. There's an opportunity for somebody, unless somebody's already done it. And if they have, hey, drop it in the comments and let me know. So all your other little machinery parts, paint your silvers and greens or whatever colors, you know, machinery parts. Right here we got some, it looks like pockets to his jacket. Once again, is all that necessary? Do we need separate lapels? All this I say, let me know what you think. Now, is the sculpt beautiful? Yeah, it's so far. But yeah, just gone a little crazy on the parts sometimes. That's the top of your machine right there. Your bulbs or your big glass things sit in it. And this is the base to the nameplate, the back part of it. And that's nicely done. Nicely textured stone. That'll help out for your painting, definitely. Okay, so let's check a little test fitting before we go on to what I call the boring parts. The pants, 2 pieces, and it came like this in the box put together already. But I mean, you can't even really see a seam. It's pretty flawless. I mean, I don't even know. If you glued it tight enough, you might not even have to putty that if you laid on a thick coat of primer. And once again, the sculpt is outstanding. I wish I knew who did it. Now over here to what I call the boring parts. Well, this part ain't so boring. I mean, it's the nameplate. Nice raised letters, easy paint up. Not sure what that's for. I didn't look into the directions to see. Sleeves. And that's why I call them the boring part. But they do have detail. You have a button there. If I can get it to focus. Anyways, the button's right there. You have a hole over here, so I imagine somewhere there's probably there is, right right there. They give you a whole extra button by itself. Because why? Well, let's talk about this for a second. They know at the price they're charging for these that it's adults buying them. And I mean, you know, there are a few kids that buy models anymore. So, you know, not like it was when we were growing up. But, so yeah, I mean, I guess they think they have to make it overcomplicated or whatever, or I don't know if they put out a survey and ask people, like, hey, do you want 1 million unnecessary parts, you know, to be separate? I mean, why put one button on and one off? It's too much engineering, over-engineered. Boots. Beautiful, pretty basic. The lapel, once again, looks like t-shirt or the whatever you had on underneath the jacket. Then we have the jacket, 4 pieces once again. Don't really see any flashing on this at all. But I mean, that's common with X-Pluses. They're always pretty, every one I've opened is clean. I mean, maybe I have to drag a little sanding sponge on the edge here and there. All right, now we'll get back into the not so boring parts. So it tells you at the beginning to choose a head to build with the model. I don't know why they only tell you to do one. I'm assuming that it's because they think you're going to glue it to it. I mean, if you're a little smarter than the average bear, you can rig a way to where you can swap the heads out. First off, let's look at our hands here. Solid. Now, these are made solid, except for in classic X-Plus fashion, one with a thumb. Once again, a little over-engineered. Why couldn't we just have it there like that guy? I mean, maybe it was coming out this way and you can't do injection molds like that. I have no clue. I don't know about injection molding whatsoever. And you can see here, once again, there is one neck bolt, but the other side doesn't. You got to put it in there yourself. Porque, which means why in Spanish. But let's go ahead and do the ultimate test fit here. Well, that one just fell off. Get out our nippers. Like I like to do, nip it back a little bit. Now, one face has like a funny sneer on it, like he's like he's about to chuckle or something. Now, that one there has its own teeth put inside. Which, I mean, yeah, for painting, I guess I can understand that. Especially at 1/8 scale. But if you got your own teeth, well, we're going to see, because we're going to try to stick them in there and see how it looks. Are they going to be so far back in the mouth that you can't even really see them, is what I'm wondering. So if so, does that really mandate having a separate piece? So obviously that goes in there. Right off the bat, I wish there was a way that I could make this focus look better. And that's another reason to join the membership or the Patreon, so you can help support the show and help me get better cameras. But it's got little tiny teeth right there on the edge. I had the autofocus off. I've been having camera problems. I'm sorry. But you can see them. I mean, that's how tiny they are. So I'm already leaning towards it's not going to make much of a difference. So you got to slide that into there. Probably going to be about impossible to do without it being glued together. Not go in there any deeper. And then we slap the back of the head on. Look at our fit. Fits pretty good. We didn't stick the bolt in there. I mean, really, you can barely see the seam. So bravo on that. I mean, you can barely see the teeth up in there. So I don't know if it's worth all that extra part. Likeness, I mean, likeness, we're pretty good. And I imagine the other head will fit just as well. But we'll go ahead and take a look here real quick. Oh, yeah. I mean, really no reason to even putty that. So that's one of the best fitting together heads I've seen. And once again, likeness is pretty good. Is it exactly Boris Karloff? Yeah, but I mean, it's good for what it is. It's good for what it is. And yeah, the only other thing left is these things, and those are just two halves of your computer science-y thing there. So let's go ahead and get you guys out of here. All right, so my overall thoughts on this whole kit. I mean, if you're a Frankenstein fan, absolutely. If you're an experienced modeler, absolutely. It's a beautifully sculpted kit. It's got, you know, if you're into wiring and stuff, you got plenty of opportunities for all that. If you were a brand new modeler, maybe I would suggest you try something else first. Not that I don't see this being extremely hard, but if you do attempt it and you're new to the hobby, don't let the amount of parts overwhelm you. It's just the past couple X-Plus kits here I've seen is a little too over-engineered. I'll have to agree with some of the people out there that say that. And it's not the fact that it makes it harder, I don't think. It just makes it more time-consuming. And as adults, unless you're knocking these out in your retirement, a lot of us still working don't have a lot of bench time to sit around. We got families, jobs, so yeah, on that, not extremely difficult model, just time consuming because of the number of pieces, because really a lot of the pieces, there's no reason for it to be a separate piece, like lapels and pocket things. Yeah. But all that being said, hey, here it is. I have one. Because I do like the X-Plus series of the Universal Monsters. Probably my generation's Aurora, because I wasn't alive in 68, or whenever they came out in the early 60s, 50s. The monsters were in the 60s, I believe. So, yeah, and they're nice companions to your Auroras or your Aurora Repops or whatever you have. All right, so yeah, I would suggest you get it, but you just be aware that it's got a bazillion pieces. All that being said, if you've hung around this long, please go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. If you're still here now, I imagine you might like this kind of thing. I try to put out at least a video a week here or something like that so far. If you're looking for a way to support the channel, one way you can do it for free is underneath this video. If you see a hype button, go ahead and spend some points on that. Hype that video up. It's exactly what it says it does. It tells YouTube, hey, push this video out to more people, which ultimately helps the channel, and that makes me eternally grateful. And to the returning subscribers and supporters, I am grateful as always that you are here. If you're looking for other ways to help support the channel, I do have 2 membership tiers, a $3 and a $4 tier. One is the Bog Dweller, and you get special emojis, loyalty badges, and you get access to membership polls. And then I have the Skunk Ape, which is the $4 one. You get all of that the Bog Dweller gets, but you also get a shout out in the next video made after you join, and you also get access to videos early. And I also have a Patreon over at Boggy Creek Life, patreon.com/Boggy Creek Life. I'll get it down one of these days. And that's a simple $3 tier. And what to do over there is once a month, get together on Zoom for about an hour or so. It all depends on really how long everybody feels like staying there. And work on some models, talk movies, life, whatever feels like going on. It's a good time had by all over there. Alrighty. So I'm got my lighting to finish up the pumpkin head. And already got another script in the work, a story to go with the next video. Got to keep the ball rolling. And once again, I want to thank you guys all for your support. So until next time, be good to each other. Model on. Sit, Rocco, sit. Good dog. Roof.